So I usually ride my bike, get on the train, and come here, start with an Americano, and say hey to people, and then make my way up to the co-working space and get caught up on emails, and then try and get to at least one other shop before the day is done. I think if someone is wanting to start a project and they feel like they don't have the money, that tends to be an excuse. I think that you can always find ways you could do more with money, but to say I can't do anything until I have X number of dollars, I think is making an excuse. I think that you have to find what you can do right now. There's always a degree or a section of your idea that you can take steps on. And what I found is that the biggest thing that propels forward movement in an organization is movement. So if you're waiting to take the first step because the first step is really big, you'll never take it. But if you take lots of little small steps, all of a sudden you'll end up way down the road, and you further down the road than you would have if you waited to take it all at one time. So when people tell me that they are waiting for money to get started, I know it's someone who lacks passion or conviction in their idea. They just don't have enough. I can remember getting our first shop opened, and there were some challenges in getting it permitted and getting through the city on opening this place up. And I can remember at a couple points this issue of whether or not we're going to have enough funds to prep the space to be able to turn it into like a coffee shop nonprofit headquarters, thinking that it might stall the project. We might not be able to open when I wanted to open. And I can remember thinking, you know, this must be a necessary point to get to, that you get to a point where no matter what someone puts in front of you, you can agree that it might take you a while to solve that problem, but it won't ever stop what you're trying to do. I got into coffee by way of the conviction that meaning, impact, and community would make people's lives better. And so what I did early on was not necessarily find nonprofit experts or coffee experts, but find people who resonated with this conviction that their quality of life would be better if they lived it with meaning, impact, and community, and then taught them or brought them in with skills that they needed. But the first most important thing was that they resonated with that mission, because we learned pretty early on that culture is the hardest thing to teach someone in an organization. So every time that I've brought somebody on, the principal point that I look for is, can we gain momentum together? Can we find a common heart or mission on this idea that our quality of life is tied to who we're becoming, not what we have? And then, you know, each person, all the baristas that we have that stand behind the counter and represent us, that carries through in those that we hire. That we hire first for culture, and then we teach them coffee, because we can't teach them culture, but we can teach them coffee. And the most important thing when they're representing Credo to people that come into coffee shops is that they convey in their language and in their personality and in their demeanor that they're interested in building community and working with people towards a life of meaning, impact, and community. We're at a place now where we just opened our third location. We're about 6 months into a co-working space that's been a dream for a long time. And so it's hard for me to kind of map out where we're going next. We are working on maybe another coffee shop location that we could get land and get going. But I think what I'm really excited about is filling out the who Credo has become right now. So letting like a shop like this become its fullest version of itself, so that we're featuring the artists, all the artists that we want to feature, that the activity that's in here is creating the right kind of friction so that people are making new connections and new introductions. Our Rally Makers program is funding all of the social enterprises we want and sending them off towards success. I'm just excited about continuing to fill out all of the activity that Credo has already started.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much.